Welcome back, everybody, to the 12 days of MyLeague. This is day number 11, as we are now set to kick off season number 10, nearing the end of the series, which will be uploaded tomorrow on Christmas Day. So here's a look of a roster if you're unfamiliar. The team looks pretty much exactly the same from last episode. The rotation is going to say basically exactly the same. And I think one of the bigger stories for this team is Kawhi Leonard. He tore his ACL late last year. He is still not healthy, and he will not be healthy for a while. And even when he does get back, I don't think he's going to be good enough to play on this stacked squad. So at the New Year's mark, we are 29-1. Unfortunately, we did recently lose to the Brooklyn Nets about a week back. So no 82-0 season, unfortunately. The Lakers are 4-27. What a fall from grace they've had. And this is sort of a core they've been building. They've had DeJounte Murray for a while. They've had Jackson Hayes for a while. And they've had Anthony Davis this entire series. He has not left. So I guess their team is aging a little bit. They also have Victor Oladipo. If you're looking at the East, it's the Charlotte Hornets in first place. The Hornets have been really bad throughout this entire series. So I'm kind of surprised to see them out of nowhere here in first place. They don't have any 90-plus players. They're led by guys like Anthony Simons and Isaiah Stewart. Their team isn't bad, but I'm surprised it's that good. And then bringing up the rear is the Milwaukee Bucks, who still have Giannis. So I find it fitting that the two top teams in their respective conferences currently in real life, in the Lakers and Bucks, are now the worst 9 years later. Looking at the All-Stars, we have 4 players in the All-Star game. James Wiseman and Bronny James are on Mikey Williams' team. They're both starters. And then for Team Zion, we got LaMelo Ball in the starting lineup. And then Terrence Clarke off the bench, making his first career All-Star game well-deserved. Clarke has been super consistent for us this entire series, so I'm happy to see him make it. And Team Zion has a bunch of guys who are currently in the league, and Team Mikey does not, which I find interesting because a few episodes ago, this was literally exactly the same. I think it was Ben Simmons and might have been James Wiseman. I'm not sure. But Ben Simmons' team had a bunch of guys who are currently in the league, and then the younger guys were all on their own team. So I found that interesting. As the world team wins the Rising Stars Challenge, Terrence Clarke won the three-point contest, and I don't know who won the dunk contest. And then in the All-Star game, Team Mikey gets the win. LaMelo Ball leads Team Zion in points. There's Terrence Clarke down there. And then for Team Mikey, Mikey Williams dominates. Nice game from Paulo Branchero. And then James Wiseman and Bronny James, each with double-doubles. So both of them were pretty good too. So Mikey Williams wins MVP, about 37 points a game with 10 assists. Remember, the scoring numbers are inflated with the shot clock. Mikael Tyne, 6th Man of the Year. I could not catch who won Rookie of the Year. James Wiseman, DPOY. Javon Miles, Most Improved. And then Jacob Underwood, Coach of the Year. So we go 74-8. We really regressed from last year. Remember, we were 78-4 a season ago. Looking at the All-NBA teams, look who's on the first team. It's Kai Jones. This guy always makes it over Wiseman, which is ridiculous because A, Wiseman's stats are better, and B, this dude's been on like 5 teams by now. Sure enough, Wiseman's numbers outside of assists are better. We also have LaMelo Ball on the All-NBA second team. And then looking at the All-Defensive team, we got our main man, Wiseman, along with Sincere Harris, the 6th man, on his second straight All-Defensive first team. LaMelo makes the All-Defensive second team. I remember in the 12 Days of MyLeague 2 years ago, we found it as a meme that LaMelo made the All-Defensive team, and now it's not really as funny because LaMelo isn't as much of a cherry picker. Also got Rolando Guerrero making the All-Rookie second team. Let's take a look at our stats, shall we? Bronny James leads the way in points, Wiseman and Ball right behind, Clarke and Perry also doing their thing. As our starting lineup basically averaged about 110 points per game, which is kind of a lot. Tariq Watson was good, Sincere did his thing. Christopher Lockett, not bad. Kind of low numbers for Rolando Guerrero, if I do say so myself, considering he was an everyday player, whereas guys like Josh Okogie, the GOAT, Frank Mason, neither of them were. So in the first round, we're going to be playing the Miami Heat. They have a few good players, Zion Cruz, Greg Brown, P.J. Washington, Darius Garland, Otto Porter, Tobias Harris. Their top player, however, is Bam Adebayo, who's still on the team 9 years later. And it's kind of remarkable how many players are still on their real teams, because if you go back 10 years ago, the longest tenured player on their certain team in the league is Steph Curry, who was only picked 10 years ago. I find it crazy that 10 years ago, every player who was in the league is on a different team now except for Steph Curry. And the thing with, like, the NFL is there's so many players who were drafted in the 2000s still on their respective teams. I'd have to assume Tom Brady is probably the longest tenured player on their respective squad. So here we are in round 2 playing the Charlotte Hornets, a team we looked at a little bit ago. Looks like they acquired Jonathan Isaac. And this is a talented team. We should have no problem with them, and we are going to win in 5. So that's good. And now we're going to be playing the New York Knicks, who we've not really seen a lot in this series. And they kind of wasted a career of R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett's been like Kevin Durant when it comes to scoring. They do have Chris Livingston, though, who's also a scoring monster. Not to mention they have Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm a big Jaren Jackson guy. I really like his game in real life. Him and John Morant are nice. They also have Damian Lillard, by the way, who it looked like went to Utah for a little bit, which is funny because right around that same time, Donovan Mitchell went from Utah to Portland. I don't know, I found that interesting. So we should be able to win this series pretty convincingly, and we sweep them. So now we have a rematch with the LA Clippers. We've played these guys in the finals before, led by former MVP Cole Anthony. They also have Jaden Springer, Elijah Fisher, Paulo Banchero, Marvin Bagley coming off the bench, Kelly Oubre. So they got a lot of veterans off their bench and a lot of young guys in the starting lineup. This is a really good team, but we should have no problem with them. And sure enough, Tariq Watson gets hurt. That's fun. Tariq Watson's back, and we end up winning 5. So that is back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back championships. That is 6 straight NBA Finals rings. Bronny James is a perfect 6 for 6, as James Wiseman wins Finals MVP. So now we approach the final offseason of the series. Next episode, there will be no offseason. And on to player retirements. It includes Kawhi Leonard. What a career Kawhi had. One of the best players to ever put on sneakers. And Kawhi was very good for us these last, 7-8 years? He's been on the team, I think, the last 8 episodes. He didn't play this year. But still, an extremely good player. This guy was a winner. He won, I think, 9 NBA championships it was. He won 1 or 2 with the Spurs. He had the 1 with the Raptors. I think he won 1 with the Clippers, and then 6 with us. So he only won 1 with San Antonio. I could have sworn he won 2, but now that I think about it, yeah, he definitely did not win 2. His career high in points was only 47. He never scored over 50, which is weird because I was looking at some of the stats today. R.J. Barrett, who we were just referencing, has scored 50-plus points in a game 25 times. Kawhi has never done it. And RJ's been in the league 10 less years. So Kawhi wins 9 NBA championships, 8-time All-Star, bunch of accolades, such a great player. And he's not the only big name retiring. Also got guys like Paul George, Damian Lillard, Derek Favors. I mean, Derek Favors isn't really a big name. Also got Chris Middleton, Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, Terry Rozier, Malik Monk. There's some solid players in here. Few potential Hall of Famers, and indeed, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, and Paul George. So no surprises there. I think all 3 of them are probably on track to make it. But look at this, no jersey retirements. I guess it makes sense for Paul George. I don't think he'd retire his Pacer jersey. Kawhi, you could make a case for any of the teams. I think Kawhi should get an Alaska Chill jersey retired. And then Damian Lillard absolutely should get his Trailblazers jersey retired. I mean, he was on the Trailblazers for most of the series. So here we go. The final rule change of the series, because every year we add a funky rule. And this year we're just going to say screw it. Abolish the salary cap. I did not add this too early in the series because I didn't want to cheese things. But for the last year, I want to have some fun. So the Jazz get the number 1 overall pick. I don't know what their team's looking like. I know they had Cole Anthony, Anthony Edwards for a while. They're both gone. Cole is obviously at the Clippers. Anthony Edwards is now for Warriors. So I found this funny. They're telling us not to draft a guard named Vlad Lukovsky, who is hurt. Well, we drafted Vlad Lukovsky about 3 years ago. And we renounced his rights last offseason so we could bring back our players. Well, 2K thinks they should put him in this upcoming draft class. And funny enough, we drafted this guy in the late 2nd round. He's now the number 3 prospect in the draft. I think he went 4th to the Suns. And he's like 24 years old, so I don't know. We're going to be making a trade here. Pick 31 and Vincent Bray, who we drafted last year, are headed to the Magic in exchange for Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon was with the team for a few years before we dished him off to Minnesota. And Brogdon hit that game winner back in like season 6 or whatever. I don't even know. But yeah, I wanted to bring back Brogdon for the final season, even if it means giving up Vincent Bray. So here's a look at options. We're accepting Rolando Guerrero, and a bunch of good players are declining, and we're not in debt anymore because of no salary cap, so we can theoretically sign whoever we want. Tariq Watson has a qualifying offer. I would like to bring back Tariq Watson, and this free agency class is really, really good. Headlined by Giannis Antetokounmpo, also got Tariq Watson, of course, DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, Ben Simmons, De'Aaron Fox is in here, I think, Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaylen Brown. It's really good. So first things first, we're going to be offering Giannis. We're going to be offering Luka because why not? Might as well have some fun for the final season of the series. And then I didn't really know who I wanted to give this last one to. I was kind of hesitant about DeAndre Ayton since we're probably going to bring back Tariq Watson. But I figured we might as well just go after Ayton. He is the best player in here who we haven't offered. So we're going to offer all three of those guys max contracts, and we get two of them. Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton have accepted, and we're also going to get back Tariq Watson. Giannis, meanwhile, is going to the Miami Heat. So Giannis Antetokounmpo is no longer a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, which is pretty crazy. Got to renounce Josh Okogie's rights because I don't really want him. And we're not renouncing Frank's rights. We got to get Frank another ring next year. But yeah, this team added DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic. And those two guys have been superstars. Doncic the past few seasons with the Brooklyn Nets, along with Nikola Jokic. Ayton his whole career with the Suns. Now they're going to be coming off our bench. So we're going to give Travis Perry athleticism and everyone else free-throw camp. I mean, everyone except for Terrence Clark and Sincere Harris, because they're both at 99 free-throw. So here we go. The final season of the series is going to be kicking off tomorrow, featuring DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic coming off the bench. Hope you guys are excited. Hope you guys are excited for Christmas as well. Hopefully you get your presents that Santa wanted, or that you wanted from Santa. I don't know.